Watch this. This card just got declined. 10 seconds later, the customer already has an email with a one-click fix. If you run a SaaS startup, every one of these customers used to mean a lost customer nobody chased. This is exactly the kind of recovery every subscription business is missing. Still unpaid in 3 days? It follows up again with the customer automatically. And if a week goes by, it stops emailing the customer and pings you on Slack instead. I'll build the whole thing with you. 3 workflows, 0 manual chasing. And I'll show you the exact point where most people's version quietly stops working. Let's see what this is going to look like. Our workflow 1 is going to get invoked when a card is declined. We're going to send the customer a recovery email with a link to quickly update their payment method. We're going to log this in our CRM. The second workflow is going to run on a daily schedule, and if it's been 3 days since you haven't been paid, we're going to draft a follow-up. And finally, if it's been 7+ days and they haven't paid you, the third workflow is going to send us a Slack message. We're going to mark that contact as escalated, and it's up to our team now to follow up with them manually. Okay, I'm back inside Claude Code. I have my prompt ready, and don't worry, I'll share this with you in the description. I'm going to go ahead and send it off and see what Claude Code can do for us. If you would rather just stop and take a screenshot, here is the entire prompt. So while that workflow is getting built, let's take a look at what our CRM consists of. So we've got customer details right here, along with their invoice IDs, the amount, and this is the failure reason. And all of these you will see are due to something going wrong, right? So insufficient funds, card getting declined, etc. We're gonna have the first attempt date, which means the date when the card was first tried to get charged. And we have follow-up 1 sent set to true or false. Same for follow-up 2. Follow-up 1 is just me sending the email saying, hey, your card was declined. Follow-up 2 is the reminder, then the status, and then also the follow-up 1 sent date. So this is what our CRM looks like currently. Okay, so you'll see it's built the tracking sheet, the workflow, and everything it says has been validated. We're gonna have 7 nodes, 6 connections. Let's hop on into N8N and see what it looks like. So it looks like it's a nice, clean, simple workflow. You'll see the first node over here is a webhook, which means it's trying to get information from Stripe when the payment is declined. Let's open this up. You'll see that the production URL for this particular webhook is set to this URL. And what I've gone ahead and done is inside Stripe in my test environment, this is the webhook area, and you'll see the URL I've used here is the same that is being used here. So basically the information is going to get sent to this URL. It's going to hit N8N's URL over here, hit this workflow particularly, and then it's going to move on. We're extracting the information from the payment that was passed to us. We're going to send it to an AI agent. We're then going to craft an email and then log it to our tracking sheet. So now that this workflow is published, which means it's ready to accept information, let's go test this out. I've gone ahead and created a fake invoice in Stripe. I'm going to charge this customer, which happens to be me. I've put in a particular card that should get declined. I'm going to hit charge customer. You'll see it was declined, and you'll see that this workflow has now been triggered. It's already succeeded. Let's go ahead and first check our CRM to see what happened. Okay, look at row number 10. That's my name. This is the information that came in, the invoice for $200 saying my card was declined. There's no follow-up sent yet, no follow-up 2 sent either. Status is pending. Isn't this amazing? Now let's go look at the email that I would have just received. And here it is. The email is here. It says my invoice payment was declined by the bank. I click on this link and it takes me to this particular page where the customer can just swap out their payment details and click play or pay. Let's go ahead and now build out workflow number 2, which is the one that will send a reminder in case it's been 3 days that the customer hasn't paid. Now let's build the second workflow, and what this one's going to do is if it's been 3+ days and the customer hasn't paid, we're going to follow up with the customer. So here's the nice simple prompt that I just shot to Claude Code. And next, let's look at the workflow it builds for us. Alright, so I'm back inside N8 and this is what it built. Let's look at it node by node and understand what it's trying to do. So when I click execute on this workflow, it's going to get me the pending rows. It's going to filter, and so by pending rows, it means where the status is pending for each customer. This is what it means, the pending. And it's going to filter for the ones that are 3+ days old. It's going to get the Stripe invoice. And so how it's going to do that is going to make an HTTP call. You'll see in the URL, it's getting the invoice ID, and how or where it gets that from is this particular place, the invoice ID. It's going to get the details from there. And if the invoice is found, what it's going to do is prepare a follow-up prompt using an AI agent for which we're using Claude. It's going to format the follow-up email. It's going to send the email and it's going to update the CRM. And what it's going to do is it'll make the follow-up one sent as true. So let's go ahead and see if it actually does that. And to test this out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push back the date from the 8th to the 3rd so that it's 3+ days and it picks up this particular row. Let's go back to the workflow, hit execute and see what happens. So you'll see it's gone through. You'll see that the execution, and in our CRM, you'll now see that the follow-up sent 1 has been set to true. Follow-up 2 is of course still false. You'll see that the status is follow-up 1 sent, and you'll see it's also captured the sent date to be today. Isn't that amazing? Now let's go look at the email that we would have just received. All right, so here it is. It's saying my payment is still outstanding. You'll see this is a reminder and it's got the link where I can make the payment at. Now, what if it's been 7+ days and the customer hasn't taken any action? Calls for an escalation, and that's where we're building this third workflow that is gonna pick up the 7+ days period. And what it's going to do is send our team a Slack message for them to know that we need to follow up with this customer manually so that they can update their payment method. All right, so this third workflow is also ready for us. It looks nice and simple. What it's going to do is it's going to pull all of the statuses that are in the follow-up 1 sent status, right? It's going to filter for if it's been 7+ days, and then it's going to just send a Slack message and mark that particular row as escalated in our CRM. Okay, so this is our CRM. This is the row that it got added, if you remember, during our initial testing. What I've gone ahead and done is I've changed the first attempt date to the 30th of July, just so we have the 7-day plus gap to test this particular workflow out. And what I'm going to now do is go ahead and click execute. You'll see that the workflow has already completed. It should have updated the CRM. Let's look at that. You'll see that this is now marked as escalated, and we should also have an alert which says in our Slack channel that says the customer that had the $200 invoice ID has been failing since 9 days to update their payment. Can you personally reach out on this one? So you'll see now we have a complete system where if the card gets declined, an email is sent to the customer immediately. Then we follow up if it's been 3+ days. After it's been 7+, we then send a Slack to our team to follow up. So that's it. A card gets declined, and instead of quietly losing that customer, they get an email, a follow-up, and if it's still stuck, it lands straight in your Slack. You now have a complete recovery system that runs itself, whether you're managing 5 subscribers or 5,000. If you run a subscription business and want to see more real builds like this, not just AI news, actual working automations, subscribe. Next time, I'm building the flip side of this, how to catch a customer before they even think of cancel. Take care.